The simplest things in life are the prettiest in form, in function, and however you think they might be. Hello, everyone. My name is Ishan, and welcome to the Race Monkey. We are in this beautiful state of Tamil Nadu, amongst the greenery of this place, which is very close to Pondicherry, to talk to you about a car which is very important for India. It's pretty popular as well, and now it is electrified. This is a new Hyundai Creta Electric, India's favorite car, now electrified, and perhaps also one of the simplest forms of electric mobility in India right now. There is a lot going on for this car, and there is a lot of commotion in this space. So, without further ado, let's get behind the wheel and talk to you more about it and make you understand if this really works as one of the best electric car packages for you in 2025 and years beyond, because this thing works really well. Let's go. Out on the open road, the Creta Electric feels pretty reassuring and confident to drive. Now, this is based on the standard design of the Creta petrol and diesel. So is the chassis. Although the center of gravity is far, far better and the weight distribution is much better than what you get in the petrol and the diesel cars, all thanks to the battery pack sitting right between the two axles. The motor is sitting right on the front axle, giving the center of gravity a bit more leverage to have a good weight distribution. Now, as much as this car is dynamically good, it also feels plush enough to take on the bad roads and bad patches in between on the highway. Now, we are driving on the Eastern Coastal Road that connects Pondicherry and Chennai, also called the ECR. And it has quite a few bad patches in between. And even with so much of rough surface going on and quite a lot of friction under the tires, we're still achieving upwards of 8 kilometers per kilowatt of economy. Currently, we're doing 8.3 kilometers per kilowatt of economy, which translates to roughly 425 kilometers of total range if I drive just like this. Hyundai is claiming a 473 kilometer driving range. I'm pretty sure within the city limits where you have quite a lot of braking, regen, and if the traffic is less, in the best case scenario, you can achieve very close to that. Now, out on the highway, where we are constantly speeding and there is no regenerative braking happening in between, you don't have enough energy recuperation happening, and henceforth getting that sort of an economy number on the screen is something which is pretty reassuring. Now, I'm driving at an average speed of 70 to 75 kilometers an hour on this highway, pertaining to it being a single lane highway and there is no divider in between, and the traffic which is coming from the onward side is a little too silly sometimes. It almost gets onto my lane, and I have to brake this car hard most of the times to make it pass so I can pass safely as well. There are quite a lot of cattle on the road, there are people on the road as well. So it's not the safest situation to drive. And henceforth, the cruise that I am onto is not the most smoothest one. And still getting upwards of 8 kilometers per kilowatt hour with the air conditioning on for both the passengers and the sunroof on, making the cabin heat quite a bit and the compressor running continuously. That is quite a remarkable number. Now, I have a great feeling that Hyundai would be able to crack the code of the Indian consumers who are looking forward to getting electric cars for themselves, because this is a very, very simple strategy. There's not too much happening on the interiors, not an extra screen to allure the passenger, not an extra feature to make you think, oh my god, this is so out of the box. And that also helps Hyundai keep enough components and be skilled enough to repair them if, God forbid, anything happens to it. Now, with the 8-year, 160,000 kilometer warranty, you'll be rest assured that at the after sale service point, everything would be taken care of. And it being a Hyundai, it's also very, very reliable. Hyundai's reliability score has gone pretty well last year, and people have lauded it for being one of the most reliable cars, after, of course, the Japanese manufacturers who are acing the game. Now, as we drive on the highway, the most important thing are the seats. Now, these are made up of recyclable materials, more specifically, recycled corn skins, which is a little weird to listen to in the first go, but that is what it is. And they're very soft in terms of their texture. The cushioning is very well done. I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall. I'm comfortable enough in the seat. There's good amount of bolster as well. So when I'm cornering, I have good amount of support on both the sides. Massive glass area, which is reminiscent of the internal combustion engine Creta as well. And everything looks nice to touch and nice to feel as well. The design of the dashboard is very cohesive. The shut lines and the fit and finish of everything that you touch and feel is pretty top notch as well. You would not be complaining when you're driving this car on longer trips. Now, with all that extra weight, it means that the Creta Electric would move around quite a bit while you're cornering, but the ESP system has been calibrated really well to contain that. Also, because it's a heavyweight car, the brakes need to be reinforced as well. Now, what also has been improved over the internal combustion engine Cretas is the braking capacity. Now, it does have slightly larger discs in the front, and better compounds have been used to bring this electric car to a standstill in a distance which is very close to what you get in the internal combustion engine Cretas, which is quite a significant thing considering this car weighs pretty much more than the petrol and diesel Cretas. Now, although at most I keep on using my regenerative braking, but whenever there are situations where there is cattle, people, motorcycles, and other drivers who've stopped in the middle of the road, this car feels reassuring. It feels that it would save you from the scratches and dents that that incident might end up getting you into. It's a pretty well engineered car. Hyundai has done a stellar job in making this car not feel out of the box from its ICE counterparts. And that is the huge advantage that is going to play in the market this time. Now, what will also play as an advantage to the Creta Electric is the design, because it looks exactly similar to the internal combustion engine Cretas. That means the customers would have less identity crisis. So here in the front of the Creta Electric, things look very nice and very well put together. To start off with, the front fascia looks very reminiscent of the N-line Creta with this massive black slat in the front and the Hyundai logo a little down below. Now, right behind the Hyundai logo, you have this flap which opens up to give you access to the charging port. So you have the charging situation from the front. You get this connected DRL, which have sequential indicators as well. These massive LED headlamps over here, which are pretty bright in the night, as we'll explain to you with this B-roll that's being played right now. Now you have this massive black area over here, which comprises of the ADAS sensors and very well integrated front camera, which houses your 360-degree surround view camera as well. Now here on the side, you get these 17-inch alloy wheels, which are specific to the Creta EV. Uh, the N-line gets 18-inch alloy wheels with thinner profile tires. You get much thicker profile tires, which translates to a better ride quality. There has been reinforcement done to the suspension system as well to take care of the extra weight of the batteries, and that makes the Creta Electric quite a good riding car. And that's especially helped with these thick tires, which are from Goodyear. They have a good amount of grip as well, as we'll showcase to you while we drive this car out. Now, from the side with this ocean blue matte paint, it looks pretty nice. You do see a lot of curves and cuts and creases in a very pronounced manner. I really like how the matte shade on this car exudes all the design elements in a very cohesive way. But it's very difficult to make out that this is indeed an electric Creta until you see those alloy wheels and remind yourself of that it is an electric Creta. Now, once you come to the back, things are very, very similar to the petrol and the diesel Creta. It's very hard to recognize this car from the back and make out that this is indeed an electric car. Of course, you'll have green number plates on most of the cars, and there's a small lettering of electric over here which says that this is the Creta Electric. Now, besides that, how Hyundai has differentiated the petrol, diesel, and the electric Creta is by giving these reversing lights over here rather than in the center, which you get in the petrol and the diesel cars. So that's about it of the exterior of the Hyundai Creta. Let's get on the inside and talk to you more about it.
Now, Creta Electric's cabin is no different from the internal combustion engine Creta. Everything feels high quality and well put together, and the ergonomics are top notch. To start off with, the air conditioning vents are placed at the correct position and do flow around the air quite significantly. The dashboard design is sleek and doesn't remind you that Hyundai has done an extra thing or two in the interiors. Everything reminisces of the internal combustion engine Creta. Now, the biggest standpoint is the central console with two cup holders and plethora of buttons. You've got your drive select mode button, your parking, brake, your auto hold, and your seat ventilation buttons as well. And these seat ventilation buttons are huge, to be honest. Everything falls into place, and it is just a properly engineered and well thought out cabin, to be honest. A lot of people would love spending long hours in these seats as well. These are very cushy seats, good amount of bolstering, and good amount of under thigh support as well for people up to the height of 6 feet. And the ventilation on these seats are pretty good. We were driving through 30 plus degrees Celsius temperature during the day, and we had to switch off the seat ventilation every 10-15 minutes. Now, the front passengers and the driver gets electronically adjustable seats. You also get memory function for the driver that two drivers can select as per their convenience. And everything that you touch and feel inside the car, be it the stitching, the headliner, everything feels high now, the most significant change in the Creta Electric is this steering wheel, which has a logo with four dots that reminds everyone that this is indeed a Hyundai electric product. It's reminiscing of the Ioniq 5, which is already on sale in India. The shape of the steering wheel is pretty good, and you get proper physical buttons for every function that is required. You got audio controls on the right hand side, you've got paddle shifters at the back for regen, and you have your cruise control buttons on the left with ADAS functionality at the bottom as well. Everything is good to touch and feel and very easy to use as well. You also get a gear selector on the right hand side with a parking function as a button. This again is taken off from the Ioniq 5. Now, in the back seat, the Creta is pretty much similar to the internal combustion engine cars. You get these nice and wide seats with good amount of under thigh support and good amount of headroom as well. Even when there is a panoramic sunroof on top of you, you get this central armrest with two cup holders, which is exactly the same as the internal combustion engine Cretas. You also get these two foldable trays for using your laptop or eating a spot of lunch at the back seat while you're traveling long distances. You also get a slight recline as the internal combustion engine cars in the rear seats. Now, as an addition, you get these 3-point charging port where you can plug in your laptop or other accessories while you're doing long distance journeys. In addition, you get a small frunk which can accommodate a small sized bag. So the things are summing up really well for the Creta Electric. Its legacy and the way everything is put together by Hyundai, it's simply going to work very well.
So what's my final verdict on the Hyundai Creta Electric? Creta's recipe has worked really well with the Indian consumers. They've loved the design, they've loved how everything is packaged. And with this car, they have simplified it even more, where manufacturers are going way forward in bringing in some exclusive amount of tech on board. Hyundai decided to keep it simple and make the dynamics and the engineering a little more robust. So it is easier for the consumers to really enjoy this car to the T. Yes, it does have quite a bit of complex electronics on board, but nothing that Hyundai after sales service centers cannot fix. Hyundai is known for their after sales service around the country, and I think that's going to be the trump card for them to sustain this product in India for the foreseeable future. The only thing right now is to price this car right, and I'm pretty sure the Korean manufacturer would not disappoint us.